Hello everyone, welcome to my channel and my reading space. My name is Eva and I am offering us a weekly message, a weekly blessing, and this week I felt led to try something a little different. I'm still kind of figuring out how I want to share on this channel, and it's been a learning process, but it's all been good, I hope, and it's been good for me. This week I wanted to Well, first of all, I wanted to say hello to everyone and wish you all well and hope that you are all doing well this week. We've had some rather big weather in the United States. Hurricane Helene hit the Gulf Coast of Florida and then traveled into the States and caused a lot of flooding and a lot of problems for people. So if you were affected by that in any way, my prayers go out to you, and I wish and hope for your recovery and for restoration for you and your loved ones, and of course for health and wellness. And if you're anywhere else in the world dealing with difficulties in that way or just personal difficulties, my prayers are with you, and I hope this will be a safe space for you for the duration of this reading. So let's get into it. Today I wanted to do a reading that looks at relationships and specifically how we navigate ourselves through the ins and outs and ups and downs of romantic or intimate relationships. So I wanted to start with this deck. It's called Spirit Junkie, and I actually pulled out some of the cards that really felt like they weren't on topic and left a bunch of others that were more on topic, because I felt like it was a kind of a nice way to start off this reading. It's not as much of a nature deck as I typically try to start my readings with, but it does have some nature, and it's just a very kind of bright and inspired, hopeful deck. So I liked it as a beginning start to our reading. Ooh, this is kind of a little bit of an experiment for me, but I like to do new things with my cards, and yeah, we'll just see how this goes. Looking at how we navigate the ups and downs of romantic and intimate relationships as men and women. What would you have for us, please, spirit guides? This is going out to our benevolent spirit guides, those looking out for us, and to the highest guides of truth, beauty, wisdom, justice, grace, goodness, love, mercy, joy, and peace. What do our guides have for us today? Okay, taking care of myself is a radical act of love. So that sort of sets the tone. And what that tells me is, instead of cards coming up about, specifically about love, maybe with another human or friendship, we have a card here that's geared towards how taking care of myself. It's a self-love topic to start with. So that's going to be rather key to what comes up next in our reading. For the next part of the reading, I wanted to use a deck called, it's a newer deck to me. That doesn't go with it. And I didn't think I would necessarily use these cards. I'm debating, but I want to set these aside, the past, present, and future cards, and get into the landscape cards. So once again, I removed a few cards that I felt kind of didn't have to do with the reading in the way that I wanted to do it, which is to talk about the type of terrain that we are moving through this week in our, you don't have to be in a relationship or even have one on the horizon or even want one for this to maybe apply to you, but you'll have to decide how much a reading like this applies to you in that case. But regardless of whether you're in a relationship or you're coming out of one, getting over one, seeking one, whatever your situation may be, I thought I'd look and see what kind of wisdom we can get from spirit, the spirit realm, from the highest sources of love, truth, and so on, to help us discern our way, discern what we might be dealing with and how we might handle that. So we're going to put out 3 of these. see what kind of terrain we're dealing with. It's the lay of the land. Okay, tree. Number 32 is tree. Number 24 is rain. And number 31 is horizon. All right. Okay. Ooh, let me just sit in here and consider these a moment with my guides. All right. The tree card to me feels like very much related to self, the self, and being stable and at peace with oneself. I am in the Lenormand system of reading cards. The tree card in that deck stands for spiritual wellness, physical wellness, and our relation to our family tree. So kind of our relation to the forces that shaped us. It is a card of self and wholeness in the self and being true and authentic to oneself. You see this moon up here. Kind of a full moon, but not quite, I would say. So we always have room to kind of keep growing and keep continuing to improve, right? There's no such thing as ever being perfect or arriving. So you want to be kind to yourself and talk kindly to yourself in the ways that you may not have reached a sense of, oh, I've arrived, or oh, I'm exactly who I wanted to be. We really probably never quite get there, because even when we excel and reach certain milestones, we find ourselves dealing with new things that we didn't see coming. Maybe part of the aging process, for instance, introduces new things where we can feel like, oh, I failed in this way, I now have a tooth that wants to be pulled, and I failed my teeth. Or it's just like we're never perfect. We're always in a state of some flux. So that almost full moon kind of reminds me of that feeling. We're never going to quite be perfect, and you want to let yourself off the hook for that. The rain card speaks to a season, a moment or season of some showers. It can be nourishing. Rain is nourishing. In fact, in where I live, it was a drought before we started getting all this water from Hurricane Helene. So we really needed the rain, and it's been a blessing. But we've had so much now, and of course other parts of the country where I live have had too much rain, that it's obviously a bit of a challenge. So I see in this card a bit of terrain that throws some things in our path that maybe are challenging. We're feeling maybe the blues a little bit. Maybe there's a reminder of something relationally that was sad or disruptive, or made you have to camp out and hold up your future a little bit. The terrain we're moving through feels a little bit. There is a storm card in this deck, so it's not stormy per se, but there's just a little bit of sorrow, or potentially for you, it could be refreshment. It could be new rains and new, like the waters that come in and bring new growth, where you feel like you've been parched and dry, and there's a new blessing. So it can be either way. It really depends on your circumstances, and I trust you'll know which one it is for you. But the great thing about these cards here on the right is our horizon card, speaking that no matter where you've been and no matter how you're feeling incomplete in yourself, you are always moving toward your hopes and your dreams. So the horizon speaks to what gives you hope and what makes you feel like living and what speaks to your heart. We have these what look like, I would guess those are fall leaves falling, but I think it just could be the way this author creates their clouds. They are kind of at an angle, which doesn't make them look like clouds, but the way they kind of darken there by the horizon, I think they are maybe clouds on the move. They're not bunched up though and threatening a storm. They just speak of like life keeps moving, but we always have a horizon to look toward. We always have hope and certain dreams. And no matter what kind of relationships you've experienced or what you're in right now, And no matter how good your relationship is or how much you think other people's relationships are good and how much you dream of that, we all have dreams of something even better, you know? So like, don't compare yourself to others except where you can perhaps learn ways that you want to like have a healthier relationship. Like for instance, if you know your relationship isn't healthy and you look to other people and you can see they have a healthy relationship, then that might be a good thing to take away from that. But always understand that everybody's in a place of continual growth and change, fluxes, ups and downs, and none of us are perfect. I'm just going to move my candle a little bit in. I feel like it's missing. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay, so now we know what our terrain looks like for the week. Let's get some tarot that sort of speaks to people, situations that we might find ourselves encountering this week. Tarot for this week, please. We have the Morgan-Greer Tarot here. Spirit guides, here for our highest good. And our illumination and our reassurance. And our strengthening and empowerment. Ooh, what do you want to show us, Spirit guides, please, for the week ahead? The people, the situations, the energies that we may be dealing with in our personal love lives. Whether we have an active love life, maybe your love life is on ice for now. Maybe it's budding. Maybe it's a distant dream. It's all okay. We're all in different places and for different reasons. And you're okay where you are. You're okay. Taking care of yourself may be the most loving thing you can be doing right now. Let's look at the cards. We'll go 5. Ooh, that's a nice omen. The Ace of Cups, 3 of Wands. Ooh, Justice, yeah. Queen of Rods. And the Queen of Swords. Okay, all right. We have some court cards here in the end. Justice in the middle. That's the only major arcana that came up. And we have an ace as well. I'm getting a strong sense that the Justice card here is speaking to the need to balance self-care in your life. She knows the truth, or she weighs on her scales. She weighs both sides of the, court claimants, or whatever's being claimed to her, and she discerns the truth, and she proclaims the law, so to speak. She is a card of fairness and balance. And often we are shown to take better care of ourselves when we're out of balance, when we've been giving too much, working too hard, studying, striving. And certainly we live in a culture in the United States and probably most countries where striving is deemed the responsible thing to do, the only, thing that really matters most of the time. And we can feel that not only is our love life less important, but our self-care is probably the least important. When really the opposite is probably true. The self-care should probably be foundational and active daily. It should be kind of the first thing you are concerned with as you get out of bed, and the last thing you're concerned with as you go to bed. And it should also be, in a lot of ways, what you use to judge situations and people and conversations and so forth, is how is this in alignment or not in alignment with what's best for me, what's best for my self well-being. And it's not about being selfish, it's about being self-contained. so that you're not oozing your own stuff into other people's spaces, right? You're not exhausted and fretful and accusatory or projecting or all these things that don't bring about good harmonious relationships. It all comes back to, what's your foundation? Are you tending to your own, not just your body, like self-care isn't just a spa day or giving yourself an extra nap or something, although that's part of it. It's more like, are you listening to yourself? Are you checking in with your intuition on how this situation makes you feel? Are you speaking up for yourself? Are you tending to your hopes and dreams? You know? So there's so much to say about self-care. I love this subject, and so we can definitely dig into that more. Let me know if you're interested in more readings on that subject. Ace of Cups is speaking to that subject too. Okay, so the Ace of Cups in the tarot is kind of like the fount of divine love. It's the fount of love that established the world, sustains the world, in my opinion, and that we can tap into. It's that feeling you have when you just want to do a random act of kindness, or when you experience a random act of kindness and you're just blessed and your cup overflows with good feelings. You see the dove here, it's a symbol of peace, of goodwill. So it's the cup of goodwill, it's the cup of harmony and just grace, you know, offering love for no reason, unmerited goodwill. So it's divine, but it's also something we can do for other people. And this definitely is a card of self-love. You can't really offer love to other people when you are, you know, not feeling like your cup is very full. Maybe you can give love out of a 3/4 cups full cup because you still have a lot. But if your cup is at its bottom, you know, you just are running on the dregs and you're, you know, beaten down and unhappy, then you are not doing anything wrong by looking to yourself. In fact, that's the only thing that you should really be doing, is filling your cup. That is necessary. It's the responsible thing to do. Fill your cup so that it can overflow and bless others. We have the Three of Wands, which is a card of fire. The wands are cards of fire, inspiration, our willpower, our passions. And threes are cards of like the divine stepping in to join us when we have kind of looked at the horizon and been like, how do I get there? We feel this extra boost from behind in the Three of Wands. We feel our wings filled with the wind. We feel like we can go forward. He's looking out on the horizon too, and traditionally that's the case in the Rider-Waite-Smith tarot system. He's often looking out at a harbor where the ships are either returning or going out. The idea is that his ships are coming in, or he's sending his ships out because he has hope, he has belief in what he's doing, and he has, you know, plans for his future. So this is a great card of feeling hopeful and feeling like you have a future, that your love life has a future, that even if you're not in a relationship right now, you have every expectation that is in your future. It is certainly possible for you. And now we get to these two cards on the end. So the Woman of Rods, the Queen of Rods, and the Queen of Swords deal with our passions and our mind. And whether you're a woman, whether you identify as female or male, we all have feminine and masculine within us. So we all have something of the Queen of Rods and the Queen of Swords operating within us at any time. So it could be that these two entities, these two traits of ours, are coming kind of to the fore this week. And I'll speak to each one here in case that's what's going on here. Or it could be other individuals in our lives. You may be someone who is considering dating two women. And as I describe these two women, maybe that will become clearer to you. So the Queen of Rods is our Queen of fire. And queens tend to be related to or associated with the suit of water, meaning receptive, fluid, empathic. And you don't have to be female to identify this way. Lots of men have these traits as well. So it's receiving in the suit energy. And in this case, she's receiving in passion or willpower or strength of purpose, strength of character, a fiery sense of what can be. So she's kind of this balance between water and fire, which we also have in the Temperance card in the tarot. A lot of women, I think, like to identify with the Queen of Rods because she is that sort of wonderful balance between the empathic, feeling, caring, dreamy woman and the more empowered, strong, knows her gut, knows what her gut is saying and what her gut wants, and isn't afraid to go after that. And of course, maybe she's also what men find attractive, that wonderful kind of mixture of soft and receptive with also fiery and passionate. And then in the Queen of Swords, we also have the water element associated with the Queen, with the intellect, the sharp mind, the sometimes sharp words, but not always. That's more her shadow side. Either of these cards can be in their positive or more negative aspects. She's associated with making good decisions, having good rationale, making good judgments, discerning, very, very good discernment. So we have water, feeling, caring, sensing, dreaming, imagining, combined with the mind. So it could be someone who's very inventive, someone who puts their studies to use in ways that help like nurture others. Certain professions such as being a therapist is like that. This could actually be about seeing a therapist about your current or past or even future relationships. You know, a marriage and family therapist or just a private individual, a counselor who helps individuals. Right, so I think we're looking hopeful here. And it could be if you're a woman, you're looking to develop these aspects of yourself. Maybe you admire women like this, one or both of these. And if you're, perhaps same-sex oriented, you could be a woman who is pairing up. Maybe you're one of these and the other woman is the other. And in case that's the case, I think it looks very promising for that relationship. Or if you're a man and you're interested in different women, this could give you something to think about in terms of who you're looking for, what she's offering you, or what you yourself need to develop in yourself as a man, because men need to develop their feminine qualities as well in order to really be able to judge for themselves, judge their world for themselves. To just deny your more feeling, caring, empathic, imaginary side is to do yourself a disservice. Just as it's a disservice to women to disconnect from their masculine side. Now, we are going to close out with a card from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle, just to give us a little bit more guidance as we step into our new week ahead and we navigate these terrains and these peoples and these energies. As we prioritize self-care, knowing that it is a radical act of love. One of the highest and most important acts of love, because it's foundational to everything else. And if more people did it, faithfully and reliably, our world would be radically changed for the better. So 1 or 2 cards here, please, Spirit, from the Sufi Oracle deck for our highest good. What do we have for us? I think I'll take 2 top cards, please. Okay. That should do it. Limitation is power. Lean into your limitations. Union of love, embrace the beloved within your heart. I love that. Okay. So what I'm feeling here, let me sit with these a moment. what I'm feeling here is this limitation is power. Lean into your limitations card takes me back to this idea of the tree and the less than full moon, and understanding that not only do you want to let yourself off the hook for being imperfect, it's more than that. It goes further than that. You actually want to get comfortable and make peace with and make friends with the areas that you feel you come up short, or the areas that you know are in shadow, that like you glance away from, like you feel in yourself, things that trigger you, for instance, things that other people have and you don't have, or that people say make you feel insecure or not good enough, or yes, not ready for love, or not worthy of love, or all the many insecurities we have. Whatever it is, this is a week to lean in and work with that and do shadow work. I can speak more to that if that's another topic you want to know more about. There's other videos on that online. But it's probably not a week to like start a relationship. It could be if that's really coming in for you, but even if you're starting a relationship right now or in one, it's okay to make time for yourself. It's okay to say, you know what, I'm just not feeling up to going out right now. I want to spend some time with myself. Or that may not, if your partner doesn't understand that, or your prospective date, doesn't honor you in that way, then that may be a problem with them. Or you maybe have to educate them. Either way, be gracious to them and to yourself, and make time to, understand where you feel your imperfections, and bring in some divine love into that area. It may be very hard work. It may feel very unsettling and discomforting and almost like you don't know what the hell you're doing. Excuse my language. But it is very important work, and you are sort of dealing with some of the hardest things that a human can do is, look at pain and look at suffering and look at old wounds and look at things that you haven't looked at maybe in 20 or 30 or 40 years, depending on your age. So there is power in that. And that is what we're being reminded of this week. That is self-love. The other thing here is a union of love. Embrace the beloved within your heart. And, when we think of a beloved, we often think of the other person, the person that we want to be in relationship with, the person that we want to be in intimate and romantic relationship with, or that we are in relationship with. But we all have the beloved within us. We all have spirit within us, and we all have the opposite gender within us. And we, as men, we may, be attracted to women, but not think about the feminine within us. And as women, we may be attracted to men, but not think about the masculine within us. And this is a time to look at the qualities that you don't normally associate with yourself. And again, like in this card, get more comfortable with those qualities, or with the divine, with whatever your relationship is with the divine. That sense of otherness that is with you, whether you are alone or in a crowd or with your family or with your friends or, in a romantic relationship. It's that self within the self that is the beloved within you. It's this divine love within you. And you always have that. You are never alone. You always have the divine. In my experience, that's been true, and I hope that's your experience too. And if it's not, then we can certainly talk about that. I can't open that up for you. I can't tell you you're wrong for not feeling that. I don't know that everyone can feel that. I think there's different times in our life when that awakens. You're perfectly okay as you are. Just take it step by step, day by day, knowing that we are all imperfect and we are all in need of self-care, self-love, patience, mercy, forgiveness for ourselves, and so on. Oh, I think that's where we'll stop today. And my prayer is that this reaches you and brings you some blessings, that you are well and safe where you are, and if not, that you can find safety this week, that you know you're not alone. You're never alone. We always have the beloved within us, and you have friends out here in the world that want your very best and are sending you love, hope, joy, peace, mercy, truth, beauty, justice, wisdom, all the good things, and sunshine or rain, depending on what you need. So until next time, I wish you all the best. Please take care and have a good week. Keep the horizon in mind. Bye-bye.